Howdy, everybody. This is another true story time coming from the Chronicles of G Money's life. And I can laugh now. For a long time, I did not laugh. I would say for a long period of time because this really ticked me off. But hey, I told you I'm going to be transparent, and I guarantee you 99.9% of y'all would not share this story. But I'm going to do it because I'm that loco. We're going to roll with it. So, when I dispatched for the Popo a long time ago, uh, I had been there for, I don't know, a few years. I don't remember how long it was, 3, 4 years, whatever. And they hired a female trooper. And I kind of met her through like, she was what they call is like FTO, and there's like FTO trainees. I guess I don't know how to describe that, but FTO basically represents field training officer. But when you were with an FTO, they kind of still called you like an FTO, like you were still being trained. You didn't officially graduate from the police academy, the Delaware State Police Academy, but you were like on the road to you know success, unless you totally screwed something up on the road, which usually once you got out of the physical police academy and you're on the road, then you're pretty much on your road to success. So I'm gonna I have to change just out of respect to people involved or that tried to be involved that got very complicated at a later stage in life. Uh, I'm just going to call her Mary, this female trooper. I'm just going to call her Mary, or we could call her Jane Doe. I'm just going to call her Mary. So her and I get, once she graduates and she was worked at a certain police. I got to be careful what I say here because I'm not really trying to stir up old dirt or anything like that. But she worked at one specific troop, state police troop in Newcastle County. And all the different troops would send a representative to the communication center to pick up the interdepartmental mail. As you can see, when news hack, I apologize for that, but pick up the interdepartmental mail, and everybody would have a little chit chat session, and people would. It was kind of like centrally located, so it was pretty good system, at that time with you know interdepartmental mail. So she was cute, she was cute, proportionate, and all that stuff. A guy, usually tries. I know it sounds terrible, but that's the truth. But so we get, we get talking a lot, we get friendly, and I forget how it started, but basically we end up dating. So then I, I honestly don't, I can't, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't remember our first date or our first hangout or, whatever, but I know we got along very well, and we had a lot of fun together, and she was funny, and she made me laugh. I made her laugh, and uh, it wasn't long into our relationship that she introduced me to her family, and family seemed to like me, and everything was good. And so, if you remember one of the story times a little while back that I told you, where the school bus, almost killed me, where I would have been sleeping in the morning. That was the parents of the girlfriend that I had currently, but at that time of the school bus incident, she was the ex girlfriend. lot of crazy stuff happened. I was very conflicted. So Mary lived in a house in a community not too far from me, and it was owned by a another female officer, a higher ranking female officer of the Delaware State Police. Sorry about that. This wind is kicking up, and uh, hopefully we hold on one second. Man, I'm worried about this one wall ornament falling off the wall here. Hopefully we can get through this without a catastrophe. But so she was a renter from another female trooper's residence that she, the other trooper owned, and then also had another lady that was a tenant at the house. So there was two different ladies living there and stuff like that. All good, really nice house. Wasn't stellar, but it was nice, and it was split level. Like a lot of the homes in Delaware, unlike Florida, are split level. And so this was where it gets crazy. Like when I tell you crazy, it's like I probably shouldn't even reveal this, but that's how crazy I am because I'm going to do it. Well, I'm trying to protect the owner of the residence too, so I'm not going to use her name or anything like that. But Mary and I, we start dating, do a lot of family things together. In the beginning, everything's going great. Everything's looking, just fine and peachy. And then I started to see some clues later that stuff was just starting to become very odd. Like we were supposed to meet at certain times or whatever, and just stuff was just wasn't jiving. Like anybody in any relationship, can see clues of, just something that's just not right. So I was starting to see these clues, and hopefully my neighbor's not listening to this. My mom's neighbor is not listening to this dialogue because it gets kind of embarrassing a little bit down the road here. But oh Lord, this is crazy. So when I dispatched in the same room with the county police, one of the guys there, sorry, I have an irritated nose. I'm sorry, time to time. But when the guys from the county police says, "Hey, I've got 2 tickets to Billy Joel," he goes, "My wife and I are not going to be able to attend. Do you and Mary want to, go?" I said, "Yeah, that sounds pretty cool to me." I was like, and it was in Philadelphia, which is 45 minutes up the road or whatever. So I'm like, "Sounds good to me." Let me touch base with her. She's like, "Yeah, great, no problem." So it was like 2 or 3 weeks out. So I offered money to the guy. He's like, "No," he goes, just go ahead and take it and do it. And the wind's really kicking up out here. Sorry about that. But he goes, so I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." So it was a few days before the concert with Billy Joel in Philadelphia. She is starting to become sick and ill, like cold and all this, type thing. And she says, finally, like a day or two before, she says, "I don't think I'm going to be able to go. I'm not feeling well. Why don't you take my friend Lauren?" Well, I've heard about her friend Lauren, but I never really met her friend Lauren. And I'm like, "No, that doesn't sound too cool. No, like if you can't go, then I don't want to go." And so she keeps insisting, "Oh, just go. Just, you'll like Lauren. She's nice, And she goes, "I'm just going to stay, home and sleep." And I'm like, "Well, I'd better stay here and just feed you like chicken noodle soup or what, And basically, I believe her and what have you. And so I tell her, I said, well, we'll stop by after the concert, and she's like, oh, okay, whatever. So Lauren and I go to Philadelphia at the Spectrum. That was the old venue place there. And we're there watching Billy Joel. It was really cool. At that point, that was only my second time I've been to a concert. The first one was the Grateful Dead. I don't think I've told you about that concert. I might be embarrassed to tell you about that one. I may share that one. And Billy Joel. So totally different contrast of types of concerts. So we're at the concert, I'm having as much fun as possible, trying not to waste the guy's tickets that gave them to me. And then uh, Lauren starts becoming like, I don't know how to say this, aggressive. She was started like touchy feely in certain regions, and I'm like, oh. So I'm thinking, nah, I'm kind of getting set up here. So I'm like, nah, I don't think that's good, So I was trying to like, nah, I'm trying to, oh, and look at that, ain't that cool? I'm trying to totally divert attention, because I'm like, no, this is somebody setting me up here for failure. But then we go through the whole, there was more aggressive attempts, I guess you could say. I fought them off, and we're going back to we're going back to Missy's place, and she's like, "You sure you really want to go back there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I told her. That's what we're going to do." And she goes, "Well, well, she started saying some crazy stuff, right?" And I'm like, well, "What's wrong with you?" Like, and so we get back there, and Missy's car is there, and there's another vehicle there. So I knock on the front door, nothing. I knock louder on the front door, nothing. I go over to her bedroom window, knock on the bedroom window, nothing. I go around to the side of the house, and the whole time Lauren stays in the truck, my truck. I had a nice little truck at that time. And so I realized the lights are on in the basement level of the split level home, but there was like sheer little curtains on the window. And I look in, and basically she was having an intimate moment with another person of her same gender. So now I'm like my head's about to explode because I can't comprehend any of this. So like, I'm such a trusting individual. So now I go back to the front door. I'm like pounding on the like I'm literally like about to lose my stuff, and I'm banging on the and would she wouldn't come to the door. So I go back to the window. I'm like, and it started to turn pretty ugly because now it's like I realized like, man, I'm gotta be the biggest idiot in the world. I realize now I'm just like a showpiece for the family. And so I get back in the truck with Lauren. I run up the road. This is before cell phones were a big thing. And I go to a payphone, and I'm calling the house, and she won't answer, right? I keep putting quarters in the cell phone. I forget how much, or the cell phone, the payphone. I mean, and all right, now I'm about to just blow a gasket, but I'm not saying anything to Lauren. And I'm taking her back to her multi-million-dollar residence because her father was like big, like what do you call it, oncologist doctor or whatever for people that were going to be checking out, and he made a lot of money. They lived in a real nice area in Pennsylvania, like big dollars. So I'm driving up the road, and she could see how fuming I am, and apparently she already knew. I was the only party in this thing that did not know she preferred females versus male. So now I'm like living. So we were about, I don't know, maybe a mile from her house. I'm telling you, like real nice area. And my brain is just like is on fire. It's like fizzling. It's like it doesn't know how to react and how to, I'm just like so many emotions, or it's like a lightning storm going off in my brain. So the Lauren says to me out of the blue, she goes, I had a friend in college who was gay. I'm like, I hit the brakes. I said, get out, get out. I kicked her out of my truck and turned around. I took off and I kept trying to get in touch with the other person involved, Mary, whatever. And like, it didn't go too well. And it was just, but I'm telling you that was like, and then come to find out later, that's what the whole deal was. I was just a front for the family. Like I looked like a good little showpiece, and I ended up, being jackass of the year. Then, with me trying to be, my brain was like fried. Like I lost like 30 or 35 pounds because I got an ulcer over the whole thing. I really couldn't tell anybody. I told one female friend that was a dispatcher I was really close with. She eventually married a trooper. I don't remember if she was married to the trooper at that time. Her and I were really close. We could, communicate about anything. But I was losing weight rapidly. Like it was like literally killing me inside. So one day I go to the one particular state police barracks that was close to where I was living at the time, and I end up talking to the homeowner of that residence where she rented, and I just really needed to talk to somebody and confide in somebody, and I tell her, what transpired, thinking she's going to be understanding and compassionate. No, the first thing she does is tell the commander of the barracks that the female trooper worked for, tells him the story. He was one of the recommending people that wrote me a letter of recommendation to be hired as a dispatcher. And then he proceeds to call me in at my place of employment one day in a room and interrogate me, pretty much like an internal affairs investigation. Uh, you know, trying to tell me what he knows and trying to tell me his cousin was, different or whatever. I don't know what I'm allowed to say on this blackboard. So I'm like, Captain, I said, I love and respect you. I said, I have no idea what I'm not going to lie. I did. That's an oxymoron. I'm not going to lie, but I did lie. I did lie. I mean, like he's sitting there trying to like get me to drop the dime on her. And at that point, it was like, I guess that female sergeant had, yakking her lips a little bit, and some other people started to hear about stuff. And so now I'm just like, I said, Captain, I love you. I said, I respect everything you've done for me. I said, I really don't know what you're talking about. I said, if you have a problem with one of your employees, I suggest you talk to one of your employees directly. I said, Captain, and he kept trying to rephrase it, like internal affairs people do. And I'm like, Captain, I respect you, sir. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. So, with that, am I dismissed? He kept trying to rephrase, I'm like, Captain, I don't really know what you're talking about. So he knew I was lying. I knew I was lying, but I had to do it in an unfortunate situation. So I'll talk to you folks another time. Peace out. Remember, always know your legal limits and stay out of